It began not with an army, but with a single gunshot on a quiet June morning in 1859. On San Juan Island, a lonely stretch of disputed territory between the United States and Britain, an American farmer found a pig rooting through his potato patch. The pig belonged to the Hudson's Bay Company, a symbol of British presence in the region. Annoyed, perhaps desperate, the farmer raised his rifle and pulled the trigger. The shot echoed across the island, and with it, the spark of a war that neither nation had truly prepared for. The quarrel was simple, almost absurd, but the land on which it took place was anything but trivial. The San Juan Islands lay in the Salish Sea, a chain of emerald green hills and misty waters between Vancouver Island and the Washington Territory. For years, both the United States and Britain claimed them as their own. The Oregon Treaty of 1846 had drawn a border, but its language was vague, its lines blurred across the waterways. Each side had planted settlers and soldiers there, watching the other with suspicion. When the pig fell dead among the potatoes, that suspicion ignited into crisis. Word of the shooting spread quickly. British authorities demanded payment for the farmer's crime, $100 for the pig. The American bristled, offering 10 at most. Voices rose, tempers flared. General William Harney of the U.S. Army, a man with the reputation for brash decisions, saw opportunity in the farmer's grievance. He dispatched troops to occupy San Juan Island, declaring it American soil. Red-coated British Marines soon followed, their ships anchoring in the channel with cannons trained on the shoreline. By July, the island had transformed from pastoral farmland to powder keg. At any moment, a misstep could trigger catastrophe. American soldiers dug trenches into the hillsides, their muskets gleaming in the summer sun. British ships loomed offshore, their decks bristling with guns. Farmers, traders, and families huddled in fear as the world's two great powers stared each other down across a strip of contested earth. At 10 a.m. one morning, a standoff nearly collapsed into chaos when an American patrol strayed too close to British lines. Muskets were raised, officers shouted, and for a heartbeat, the world held its breath. Then, miraculously, both sides pulled back. No shot was fired. Through the long weeks that followed, the crisis deepened. Reinforcements arrived, swelling the island with more men than it could feed. Campfires dotted the ridges at night, their smoke drifting like beacons into the sky. The soldiers drilled, sharpened blades, and muttered about war, while their commanders exchanged icy notes laced with threats. Newspapers across the United States and Britain screamed of impending conflict, and on the island itself, the mood shifted daily from tense laughter to dread. It was war born of absurdity, yet beneath the absurdity lay the dangerous truth. Neither nation was willing to lose face. And then, as quickly as it had escalated, a strange calm descended. Cooler heads rose above the noise. American President James Buchanan, weary of conflict, opened negotiations with British officials. Orders were sent to the commanders on San Juan: hold positions, but do not fire. The months dragged into years, the soldiers settling into a bizarre half-life of waiting. They built cabins, tended gardens, even played games of cricket and baseball against each other when tempers cooled. On a tiny island, enemies became reluctant neighbors, bound by the silent agreement that one more trigger pull could rewrite history. The stalemate lasted over a decade. Finally, in 1872, arbitration by Kaiser Wilhelm I of Germany delivered a verdict. The San Juan Islands would belong to the United States. The soldiers packed up, the ship sailed away, and the Pig War, as it came to be known, ended without a single human casualty. Only one pig had died, yet for 13 years, two nations had teetered on the edge of battle because of it.
History often remembers wars for their carnage, their sweeping battles, their rivers of blood. But on a misty island in the Pacific Northwest, a war was fought and almost ignited over something as small, as mundane, as a hungry pig in a potato patch.
No cannons fired, no armies clashed, yet the fate of a border and the balance of peace hung on that single shot. The Pig War was both laughable and terrifying, a reminder that sometimes history's greatest dangers come not from grand conspiracies, but from moments so small they might be overlooked, until it is too late.